Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, your favourite football fan channel dedicated to Manchester United. This is your breaking news show. Welcome to the lads. We're going to chat to them very, very shortly. But before we get any kind of comments on the news regarding Mason Greenwood, this is the following statement. We're going to read it out and then we'll get into the actual show. So, charges against Manchester United footballer Mason Greenwood have been dropped. Greater Manchester Police have announced today that criminal proceedings against the 21-year-old have today been discontinued. Chief Superintendent Michaela Kerr, GMP's head of public protection, said, given the significant media coverage of this case, it's only fair that we share the news that the 21-year-old man who had been arrested and charged in connection with an investigation opened in January 2022 no longer faces criminal proceedings in relation to this. The club have also put out a statement as well. United have said, Manchester United notes the decision of the Crown Prosecution Service that all charges against Mason Greenwood have been dropped. The club will now conduct its own process before determining next steps. So these are the statements that have been released. And no comment from myself. Obviously, if the lads want to add anything onto that, that's completely up to them. But this is a news show. That's news surrounding the current Manchester United player. There you go. There you have it. So, lads, you're more than welcome to say anything. Other than that, we can jump into the actual show itself.
I'll make it brief. If you're in the chat and you want to make comments about it, that's your own opinion. Keep it respectful. Keep it on point. Don't turn it into an absolute slagging match, because if you do, you're just getting banned and kicked out of the chat. So it's a warning there. I've got my own personal feelings on it. Nick has. I'm sure Adam has. I don't wish to see him play for the club again. That's my opinion. And we'll see what happens. Obviously, Manchester United are investigating and they're going to make a decision what happens. So we'll see what happens as a result of that. So, yeah, we'll just say that and then I'll leave it at that, and we won't comment on it further until we have anything else.
Adam, anything else you want to add on?
Yeah, just something brief. It's given the direction we're going right now, I wouldn't throw a hot grenade right into the middle of it.
Absolutely.
And just ruin all the progress. All that negative, like everything that comes with it, it's not worth it. I personally wouldn't want them to play for us again. But yeah, everything's been said in the statement, and we just got to wait to see what the club do at the end of the day.
Yeah. Absolutely. Send him out on loan, let him see out his contract and be done with him. Wash your hands with him. That's the way I'd see it going. Anyway, let's talk about some more positive news, let's say. We want to talk about Sabitzer officially being announced, his new shirt number for the club. There's also a few quotes from the player's agent, the manager, one of our very own players, and the man himself talking about the transfer, so we'll definitely dive into them. Raphael Varane is retiring from football. International football. We'll take a look at that. We're also going to touch on last night's performance as well. Little cameos from Jadon Sancho, Rashford, and Anthony Martial. So before we dive into the topics on the table, make sure you smash a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. We're currently on 1,011 subs, I think.
1,111.
Let's try to get that to
111.
Well, yeah, we got. I keep getting mixed up. Yeah, I'm getting used to the figures. It's all over the place. Sam's absolutely right with that. So let's try to push that to 1,150. Let's try to do that. So Sabitzer lads was in the stands last night for the Forest game. His work visa's officially sorted, which means he'll be available for this weekend for the Palace game. He's been training as well, and we've got a couple of quotes from the player himself, his agent, the manager, and one of our own, as discussed before, off the back of his signing. So Sabitzer himself has said, I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be a part of this team. I'd like to thank the officials at Manchester United for their trust in me. I'm really excited to play in front of our passionate fans at Old Trafford and for this huge club with its big tradition. I am ready. First of all, it's a good moment for me, for my family and friends, so I'm excited and looking forward to it. I'm happy to be here, of course. And on his move, very quickly, he said, there was first conversations. Everything went really quick. I had to pack my bags and get the flight and then come here. A busy day, but I'm very, very happy. If he does get minutes, Adam, on Saturday, what are you expecting from him?
Well, you know, he's a physical presence, probably more physical than Eriksen. Maybe not. He's a good passer of the ball as well. Don't get me wrong. Maybe not as good as Christian Eriksen, but he brings that kind of box-to-box midfielder. He can play multiple positions too, which, given like our lack of depth in certain positions, it is going to help out massively. Probably what we're going to see is he might get a short cameo, somewhat maybe the last could be 20, 15 minutes. You never know. Maybe you might even get like a half hour. But he'll bring a lot of energy to that midfield, probably more energy than Eriksen as well. He's a different type of player, similar in certain aspects, good set piece taker. But like from what I've seen of him play, many a times when the Republic of Ireland have played Austria, he's stood out a lot. Him and Alba have destroyed us in the past. But he's a player. I'm actually really, really happy that we actually made this signing. I didn't think we could pull something like this off, given how late of a notice, I suppose, they had to actually go for a player. And he's probably the best option that was available at the time. So I don't often say it, but I kind of applaud the club for actually going in that direction. Like I know it's we never really say that, but he'll offer a lot on Saturday if he gets a few minutes anyway. Hopefully we're leading by then.
Yeah, and of course Austria and Ireland have a lot in common, don't they? Do you know what that is by any chance? They both didn't go to the World Cup. Hey, got you.
Ouch.
It's not a fair comparison because Ireland never go to the World Cup, so that's not really fair.
Wow. Yeah, big talk there. Big talk. Only joking,
because
of
course.
course.
Players.
Yeah, I think if you would have had Declan Rice in that
Jack
team, you
Grealish.
would have gone to the World
Jack
Cup.
Grealish
And
as
Jack
well.
Grealish.
Yeah.
Any others? Any others that we're missing that we've robbed? I think they're the only two, aren't they? Is that right?
I think he played for Man United, the Keane guy for Everton. He went to Everton.
Well, Will Keane. Yeah, I
Yeah.
won't worry about him. Won't worry about him too much. Yeah, I can't see him propelling
got a couple of
any
minutes
nation to the World Cup, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, do you think Sabitzer can do Eriksen justice in that position, Sam? Do you expect him to play a number of positions as well, potentially?
Yeah, for sure. Like Adam mentioned, he can play a number of positions. He can play in the 8, he can play in the 10. I believe he can play in the wing as well. I believe he can play sort of a wide.
Started on the wing.
Yeah.
His career, yeah.
So yeah, versatile player, which again is another Ten Hag trait, as we know. Luke Shaw's played multiple positions. Lissandro can play multiple positions. Rashford can play across that front line. We've seen Jadon Sancho, who we'll get into later, playing the 10. Bruno playing out or wide as well. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So just this is what Ten Hag wants from his players. He wants players to be adaptable and be able to play multiple positions and play them well. I know you're going to get into the quotes later, so I won't speak on that bit yet. I'll wait till you say the quotes. But yeah, I think he's going to do well for us. He's match fit because obviously he's been with Bayern the entire season. I know he's not had as much minutes as he would probably have liked to have had due to the season and the stacked midfield that they have. But he's training constantly. I believe he didn't do like a full medical with us because Bayern's medical system is so advanced. They just sort of give us the info, and we were like, yeah, that we trust that. It's probably better than our medical anyway, to be honest with you.
Like, you know, in Rocky, you know, the Russian, when he's training, he's on that treadmill and he's running, it's like that at Bayern, I guarantee it.
So yeah, that's why they all end up like just fucking jacked every time someone goes to Bayern.
Look at Goretzka.
Yeah, so it's...
Fuck me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping he gets some sort of minutes on Saturday. I doubt he'll start, but hopefully he gets, like Adam said, 20, 15 minutes, maybe even 30. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. His agent's been talking about it as well. You know what? When I first read the first couple of lines of this, I was like, his agent hate him or something. So he said Sabitzer is the most unpleasant person to be around when he's not playing. Then the penny dropped. He hates it when he loses. That's the bottom line. Character-wise, the kid is a killer. That's what players who always want to win look like. Bruno's been talking about him as well. He said he can shoot from outside the box. He can score great goals. He'll give us more options in the midfield whilst Eriksen is injured. He's another one who'll make it difficult for everyone in the team to have a place. We're really happy to have him. We think he can help us tomorrow, meaning today. I'll be with him. I'll talk a little bit with him and see. I think he's fully fit. He's been playing, so hopefully he'll help us a lot. It's very early doors, Adam. I'm aware of that. But do you think he could put himself potentially in the window for a permanent buy? If is he looking at this opportunity maybe to be like, you know, I can go here, show me qualities, and maybe become a regular starter at Manchester United?
Definitely. With Eriksen out injured, more than likely, once he gets into kind of, you know, the way we play, used to Ten Hag system, he'll probably be a starter for us like Eriksen was. And he's there, he's match ready as well. and he wants to prove it as well because he seems very, very happy to come here and
Yeah.
actually, play for one of the biggest clubs, probably the biggest club in England as well. So he's played for the biggest club in Germany and the biggest in England now. Not many players actually do that, so he can add his name to that sort of list. But he's definitely it's like a trial almost in a sense. It's like nothing for us. Like if it doesn't work out, we can just wash our hands of it in the summer. But if it works out, he puts himself in the shop window, not just for us, but other teams as well. But if he's happy with the progress that he's making here, we'd be probably the number one choice.
Yeah.
So I think it's a win-win for both parties, how I see it. And Bayern will be happy because I think he has 2.5 years at the moment left in his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So they could get a decent fund. And who knows, maybe if he does the job really well, we won't be looking at like, an 80 million buy in the summer for a midfielder.
Nick. Don't upset Nick. Because
I'm not going to mention the name.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to actually ask a couple of questions about that. Well, not about him specifically, but Ten Hag was talking about him in the presser, or I think it might have been like an interview. Simon, he said, I think he's got great attitude. He's at the right age. I'm sure this opportunity will motivate him greatly, and he will perform strongly for us. Seems like clearly a player the manager's a fan of. And we know when Ten Hag scouts players, he goes for character, quality, and players who want to be here more importantly. And it seems like Sabitzer certainly fits that bill, doesn't it? Like the likes of Lisandro, Casemiro showing similar qualities.
Yeah, like it makes a change. Like back, obviously, before Ten Hag came in, we were buying players because there were stars, because there were commercial buys and shirt sellers, etc. And now we seem to be buying players. The first thing they seem to look at is personality and attitude. That's number one. Like if you don't fit in with that, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're not coming to the club.
Yeah.
Your attitude and your personality needs to be right. And from what his agent's saying, he said he's the worst person to be around when he's losing or he's not playing. It's exactly
Bruno's like that as well, isn't
it? It's exactly what you want. You want a guy who's so fucking annoyed that he's not playing or he's lost, that next time he puts in an extra performance or he does an extra thing to make sure it doesn't happen again because he hates it so much. And it just matches up what Ten Hag has, the sort of profile of player that Ten Hag's brought to the club. Like you mentioned, Lisandro, Casemiro, Anthony, even though on the pitch he's not quite delivering consistently, his attitude is spot on. He's constantly willing to improve, etc. like that. And then he's kept around the players who also have that attitude, but maybe haven't been coached properly to sort of hone it into the correct way. Like Rashford is absolutely on fire at the minute. Luke Shaw, Aaron Ramsaka even, like he's brought him as well. So I think, it's the perfect player profile. Haven't seen a lot of him recently because obviously he's not played much for Bayern. But I did see a lot of him when he played for Leipzig, and he looked like a really fiery, good player. And hopefully he brings some of that to United. Also, I don't agree with Adam giving praise to our board because the only reason we went for somebody is because they realised Eriksen was going to be out for 3 months. That's why they went for him. They were quite happy for us to just continue on with a threadbare midfield of Eriksen, Casemiro, and Bruno with Scott McTominay and Fred. Scott McTominay out. Donny's gone. He's out for the rest of the season, and they weren't going to buy anybody until they realised Eriksen was out as long as he is, and then they went, okay, let's get somebody. So let's not praise him too much.
No, but to go get someone of his quality within a day is still good to get someone over the line like that.
We should have in that January. We should have been doing that. We should have been getting a midfielder anyway because we're so short in the midfield. Like if we lost Eriksen, Casemiro, or Bruno, midfield's fucked, completely fucked.
But we had McTominay and Eriksen at the time. They were injured.
McTominay's not good enough. He's not good enough.
No, but I'm saying that the depth is there. So you just said yourself the reason why they went out and got it was because there was lack of depth, right?
The starting 11, your best midfield is Eriksen, Bruno, Casemiro, correct? Would you say?
Bruno, Eriksen, Casemiro, yeah.
Yeah. So you lose one of them, you're then in a serious deficiency because Fred is 50-50 about how he's going to play. I know he's done well recently, but on the occasion, he's mostly 50-50. McTominay, I don't think is good enough. And then Donny was out injured. So you were left with very threadbare midfield. So we should have been in January looking for a midfielder anyway. That's what we were, reactive instead of proactive. That's my point.
Yeah, I get that. But one thing I want to point out is the Glazers have sat there and said they're not giving any money out. So the board themselves have been deprived of funds. So they kind of both hands tied behind the backs. So to go get someone of Sabitzer's quality, I don't know how much the financials been released on it yet. I'm not sure how much they're charging for the loan fee, but you would have think it's not going to be too expensive because he was moaning that we're paying $3 million for Weghorst. So given the circumstances they're currently in, I don't think getting Sabitzer on the final day for decent fee of someone of his quality is bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. The transfer itself in isolation is not a bad thing. I think good player, good option in the way we loaned him and didn't have that. But the fact that we're in this state as Manchester United that we had to do this rather than proactively scout players.
I get it.
Do you know what I mean? That's my point. And as soon as this club sort of starts doing that sort of thing, I'll start giving more praise to the board and the higher ups because at the minute we're a reactive club, not a proactive club.
Yeah, for sure. Adam, more than welcome to jump in on that if you want before we head into the next bit.
I want to see both sides of it as well. The board are obviously directed by who's above them, which is the owners, and they are only given a certain amount of, cash to actually go and do something. And I think someone picked up on it. I read on Twitter that Ten Hag actually was looking at Sabitzer from last summer. Like he was on his radar all the way back then. So obviously it was a name that he had in the back of his head, and he probably chanced it to the board, and the board went ahead and got it at the end of the day. But out of all the options that we could have got, I know we're being like Atletico were trying to give us Carrasco, who doesn't even play that position at the end of the day. And
Isco as well. Isco was being chatted about as well.
Yeah. Geez, for those, probably those couple of hours we were in the trenches, weren't we?
It was just there everywhere.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, silly season it was.
And I wouldn't have minded the Aouar, is that his name?
Aouar from Lyon.
Yeah, from Lyon. I think there's a player in there, free agent in the summer, I believe, as well. So maybe that's something that Ten Hag could look at. I don't mind a couple of free agents, add a bit of depth to that midfield, because I get a few of it. I get rid of a couple of them anyway. But I'm happy with the signing at the end of the day, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing him play.
Yeah, he's bringing captains in as well. That's the thing. Like you think Casemiro, captain quality, top level player. Sancho brings captain vibes. Bruno Fernandes, obviously, I know Ten Hag didn't bring him in, but a captain of Sporting Lisbon. Varane is a captain of France. Like you've got real leadership, and Sabitzer was a captain of Leipzig. So you've got real leadership qualities in there with a lot of players. Now, in regards to his shirt number, he does get the number 15. I don't know if any of you guys, I wouldn't have known at the time, but do you know anyone who's had that number before? Might not be who you expect. I was pickling my brain. I had to Google it. I couldn't.
15.
Do you want me to tell you?
We'll come to that. I'm trying to think. I can't think of anyone who's worn 15.
One of them was Nemanja Vidic. One of them was David. Yeah.
Wow.
One of them was David Beckham at one point before the number 7 shirt in '94.
Yeah, he's in the youth. Yeah. I remember that.
Paul Scholes and Gary Neville as well wore it at certain points during the career. So if he amounts up to what any of them players achieve, then we should be all right. And yeah, we've got a lot of games coming thick and fast in regards to his performances and how many games he's going to have to endure. He's certainly going to get what he's asked for, which is game time, and he'll have to settle in very quick. I do think he'll adapt though. He's got the right character and quality.
Just before you move on, Nick, there's a comment from Danish Iqbal. Glazers being owners, getting 2 loans, even good for them. Drained by them all these years. Fans are the only reason this club is strong. Hope this is the last window under those leeches. Totally agree, mate. Yeah. Absolutely agree. Oh
yeah, Danish always spot on with his comments. Absolutely, thank you for that.
About the loans.
Yeah.
Just a quick comment. It was just you're bringing these players in on loan. It actually gives them a bit of motivation, if they want the full contract.
Yeah.
As I said, it's like a trial, so you're actually going to get the best out of these players till the summer because they want to prove themselves. Yeah. And I'm sure, like they're coming into the club. They're seeing it for what it is. They know it's actually on the way up as well. So they want to stay. So they want to prove themselves. Like the likes of Weghorst, Sabitzer, I don't know about Butland. I don't know what the story is with him.
Has he done his medical yet?
I was gonna say, I've not seen him train. I've not seen him like any photos of him. Is he real?
No.
Is he there?
God knows. No idea.
But it gives him the incentive to actually, perform on the pitch, and I think it's actually very, very smart business in a way as well. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, lots of competitions to come, so he's going to get game time in Bruno's spots at times, I imagine. Maybe as a 6, maybe as an 8, because he's played them all. So he'd be a very, very useful player in all competitions. And sticking with competitions, lads, Raphael Varane will not be competing in any more international competitive games. So no more. He's officially retired from playing with France. And according to reports, one of the reasons why Raphael Varane has retired from international football is because he wants to take more time to recover during the season, as he has suffered with injury problems in recent seasons, as we know, as United fans. Raphael Varane is also starting to experience some form of physical and psychological wear and tear. He also aspires to devote more time to his family. The World Cup final against Argentina basically being the final straw that broke the camel's back, let's say. But look, Raphael Varane, lads, we talk about him, World Cup winner, been in numerous finals, some of the greatest teams ever. Mission complete for him. He's literally won everything there is to win, pretty much. So I think he can have a clear conscience as well about doing this and having a longer career at a club now where he's obviously loved and cherished by us, isn't there? So just thoughts on how did you react to that news when you first saw it? Adam, I'll go to you first.
No, I was actually over the moon because my biggest worry... Like, I know all the French are there crying, upset, like thinking this guy's going to be our captain now. No, I was absolutely delighted because every time we go on an international break, my biggest fear is always that Varane is going to pick up an injury when they're away. But now that that's out of the equation, I'm just happy. He can walk away from the French national team with his head held high.
Oh, yeah.
The World Cup. Didn't they win the Euros too?
Yeah.
As well.
Did they?
Did they win?
Win the Euro? No, Portugal won the Euro.
Yeah, it's Portugal.
Yeah. No, World Cup, they got to a final, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Or was it not in Russia? They won in 2018. Well, I don't know about Euros. Maybe a while ago, the Euros, but I'm not entirely sure. You might be right, but I don't know. I mean, I'll double check that whilst you go on.
Yeah. But, he's won the lot. The guy could retire from all football tomorrow and hold his head held high. Thankfully, he's not. It's just international football because we get to actually, enjoy the rest of his career more than likely. But you have these defenders, and I did see a comment by Hulk Hogan, my brother Hulk Hogan, in the chat. He said Varane's legs are gone. He doesn't have that recovery defense he was a good at. But you lose a bit of speed. You do. Obviously, you're not as young as you were, but when you lose that, you pick up on positional play a lot of the time, and you see that with Casemiro as well. He's not particularly fast, but his positional play is top notch. And when Varane's on the pitch for us, he's top notch at his positional play, and he brings that experience. He brings everything. But I'm so happy he's calling it a day and hanging the boots up.
Yeah, just double check. Yeah, they got beat by Portugal in the final, France in 2016. That was actually in France, the Euros. That's when they played it there. So. Yeah, lost the Portugal in the final when Ronaldo got that big injury, didn't he? Wow, Cristiano Ronaldo, lads. Mental. Sam, Raphael Varane retiring from international football. Thoughts on that?
I don't believe in God, but if I did, I'd thank the Lord right now because it's only good news, isn't it? Because much like Adam, I'd watch Raphael Varane go away to international duty like a father watching a child go to school and just be like, please be okay. Please be okay. Because... Every time it's just like, oh god. And then anytime he went down injured in the World Cup, I was like, oh fucking Christ, what is going in it? Like, it's just panic. So I'm glad that's over. Guy is, like Adam said, he's a Rolls Royce defender. He's won everything there is to win. Like, he doesn't have anything to prove. I think whether he won it and he did lose it, unfortunately, whether he won it or lost it, I think he was going to retire. I think that it would have been his time. I think he's like he said, he's got wear and tear. He wants to focus on his family, etc., like that. And that's all good news for United fans. It means when there's an international break, he gets to go home, recover, rest.
Put him in an ice bath.
Yeah.
Rapid.
Just wrap him in cotton wool. Just keep him over there. Don't go out. Don't do anything. No. So it's all good. It's good stuff. So I hope yeah, it's just good things for Man United going forward. I can't think of any bad news other than maybe French people being upset with it. But
Well, let's not pretend they haven't got a wealth of options at centre back, Sam. You know what I mean? Like Canate, Kimpembe, the list is endless. Longley still doing bits. Upamecano, like they've got a wealth of options at centre back, so it might not be as best as much.
Danish Iqbal. When I saw a notification for Varane retired, my heart was in my mouth.
I was the same.
Then the word following international was a relief.
Yeah,
India not being in the World Cup, international football doesn't bother me. Yeah.
Oh my God! Could you imagine him retiring? Jesus, that would be a shock.
That's what I done when I read the tweet. I ended up thinking it's one of these fake accounts, and I clicked on it. Saw it was the actual accounts, like for all these, big following news accounts. I was like, what the hell? And then I ended up just reading it again. I was
no,
like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Thanks, Raphael. Stay with us. But then this is what I mean. Like, he obviously knows his body very well. And as fans, we know he struggles with injuries quite a lot. Ten Hag knows that. That's why he handles his game time very delicately. Can I say that? He handles his game time delicately. And that process will be much easier now with the decision that's been made. And look, his importance to the team can't be underestimated. Like, we're going to touch on the game in a second with the attackers, but I kept mentioning last night, having Sancho, Varane, and Casemiro was that base triangle platform. Adam, you always talked about the spine last year under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Having them three there, in my opinion, I don't know if you guys agree with this, is probably the best in the league in terms of like your DM and your two centre backs as a partnership. For me, that's the best in the league.
Yeah, well, hands down, we have the most clean sheets, I think, in all competitions from any Premier League side.
Yeah, 16, I think.
And yeah, 16 in 32 or something around that, anyway.
Something around that ballpark, yeah.
Yeah, so about 1 and 2, which is really, really good for football.
Yeah.
They are hands down. We've complained about the spine of the team. I don't know how many times I've said it. Like we were like spine with slip discs for so long, and now we have arguably the best centre back pair in the league, and we also have the best holding midfielder, I'd say, in the world. Like he has everything. And then I know the whole attack and mid is kind of up for debate, whatever. But like we're building a spine, and that's what it's come down to. Ten Hag has identified that, and he's actually fixed it. It's one of the first things Jurgen Klopp done when he went to Liverpool. He said we got to get a good spine of the team, straight down the middle, and then you can branch off and you can fix players here and there. But like you said it, it's for me, it's the best in the league. Hands down.
There's only
it's
two.
Reflected now in Newcastle.
There's only two teams that you could argue. There's Arsenal with Partey,
Saliba and Gabriel,
and then City with John Stones, Kanji, or Ake and Rodri. They're the only two that you could have an argument with. Anybody else, I refuse.
Yeah. Don't come close for me. And when you have that platform, Sam, it allows you to breathe confidence, doesn't it? You remember, like, under Solskjaer, Lindelof, Maguire, McTominay, if you're in a team with that, you can only imagine you'd be nervous as fuck, wouldn't you? Just constantly worried.
Yeah. Just to address Hulk Hogan, guys, you got to address the elephant in the room. We did right at the beginning of the video, Hulk Hogan, scroll back, we addressed it in full, gave our thoughts, so just scroll back and you'll see that. It's just, I think this is at the point now. Like Adam said, Ten Hag's built the spine, and that's what's basically delivered the platform that we're now playing on, the consistency, the goal scoring, the clean sheets, etc. The next step now is depth, squad depth, to have options when those players aren't available, because those players are not going to be fit all the time, 100% of the time. It's just not going to happen. So you're going to need options who are of equal or greater quality, like City do, like Chelsea seem to be trying to do, because they're just buying everybody at the minute. That's what you need next, and I think that's what Ten Hag, his next step will be this summer. Come in, he's going to be like, right, I need squad depth, and I need to get out these other players that are not good enough for this squad. So the likes of Maguire, McTominay, like possibly Wan-Bissaka, but who knows at this point, because he seems to have done a career rejuvenation. Those players are going to leave, and he's going to bring in quality, not just backup, but competition for those places. So competition for Casemiro, competition for Dalot, competition for Bruno, competition for Eriksen or if Sabitzer might be that competition, etc. You're going to bring in competition so these guys never take the foot off the pedal like we saw under Ollie. The players were coasting at times, not putting the effort in. If you know there's somebody behind you who's equally as good as you are can be, and you don't play well, you step your game up every single time.
Yeah.
So Chivy in the chat, he's won a World Cup. It's about time. No point in losing him to pointless Nation League game. I think he's referring to Varane. Yeah, pretty much agree, mate.
Yeah. And just the last thing on Varane, because you touched on this the other day, Sam, you're saying he does not get the credit he deserves. He really doesn't. And I was thinking of an analogy for this before. If you have two sons, one of them's the older one, always doing what he's told, constantly doing his homework, getting A's, it starts to become expected of him, doesn't it? Because they set the bar, they raise it high. But then if you have a younger son who kind of fucks about all the time, never really shows up for school, constantly getting in trouble, and then one day he gets an A on his maths test, they'll scream it from the rooftops. They'll be like, wow, can't believe he's done it, etc., blah, blah, blah. And I think if Maguire was to put in a performance that Varane does on a consistent basis in big games, it would be, the media would not shut up about it.
It'd be headline news.
Yeah, headline news. But because Varane does it on a consistent basis, he's a Rolls Royce, he gets about his work, every single game you see him playing, flawless a lot of the times. He's dropping 8 out of 10s consistently. Nobody really talks about it.
Same with Casemiro. Same with Casemiro. People going, oh, why are you raving about Casemiro? Like, oh, it's just like, because he's that good. He's that good, but people just expect it of him because he's won 5 Champions Leagues. He's been one of the best players on the planet for so many years. People are just like, oh yeah, that's Casemiro. That's why it's just like.
But it's weird, isn't it, Adam? Because you don't notice him. I know that sounds weird to say, but you don't notice him in the game, do you? Like, United fans will know what I'm talking about here.
Well, I think that's the sign of a good player when you don't notice them, in a sense.
Michael
Carrick.
They're
doing everything right.
Michael Carrick. Nobody gave a shit about Michael Carrick. Nobody noticed anything he did. But if you took him out of that team, you'd fucking notice.
Yeah. He's putting out fires with silent farts. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's one analogy of it. Yeah. I think the term unsung hero is kind of said about these sort of players. They just do their job. They're consistent. I think Gary Neville, for large parts of his career, was one of those kind of players, kind of was just consistent overall. Many players fit into that category.
Van der Sar as well.
Van der Sar.
Like, nobody praised Van der Sar, but he was probably the best keeper bar Schmeichel for United. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those players.
And many people would, I know, and kind of include him in their all-time kind of Man United 11 for what he's done. So there's many of these sort of players, and Casemiro and Varane. I know Casemiro's getting a lot of praise now, but I think that's kind of going noticed now because we went so long without a holding midfielder that we've actually just realized, what the hell? Once you sign someone with quality, they actually deliver. And who'd have known it'd take about 6 years for it to happen? 6 years? Ridiculous. Yeah. And Varane now, I know a lot of the attention's kind of gone on Lissandro, how kind of like how you compared it. The younger one kind of getting all the attention, and he's there quiet in the background doing his job, consistently dropping, I'd say, a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Every game. And there was a point, I think, last season, I know we were horrendous last season, but when he was starting, I don't think we lost many games as well.
In a back line that was lacking coaching, was lacking ability, and you can see him now the level he's at, because when you compare him with Lissandro next to him, it doesn't look like he's out of sorts or anything. He still looks like the commanding centre back who's pushing him up and leading that line. And I remember that was one criticism of him at Real Madrid, because Sergio Ramos would be the leader in that back line who kind of organises everything. And when Ramos didn't play, Varane looked a little bit isolated at times and things, but he's coming to United and you can see he's leading, he's screaming at everyone, but kind of does it in a weird way where you don't notice it as much. It's strange with him.
It is strange, and he didn't get a lot of credit. I don't think the two guys we signed from Real Madrid, I don't think they got enough credit in those teams, because they made a lot of them made them tick as well and keep the glue together. They've come to us now, and I think they realise just how much the fans love them.
Love them. The passion is different, isn't it? The passion of the fans.
They are adored.
Real Madrid compared to United is a totally different kettle of fish, man.
Casemiro mentioned that, Sam. He said about the fans, like whenever he'd score or whenever I can't remember what the specific quote was. I wish I could remember it. But he said the fans, like, they wouldn't react no way near like they do in the Premier League, like they do in United in the Stretford End. Like,
he's in the crowd every single time he
Yeah.
scores. Like, he's
Yeah.
in the crowd and grabbing people.
Yeah.
Like,
the Chelsea one was a big one, wasn't
Oh.
it? Like the screaming and the passion in that, you're like, fucking hell.
the saw
Sign him up.
Lissandro
Yeah.
disappear head first with his legs
That's what I mean,
dangling.
like,
Just-
We've been lacking that for so long. Like, I think, we've just been lacking it for so long. With him, just a final question on Varane, and then we'll go on to the next topic. With him making this decision, Sam, how long do you think we can potentially squeeze out of him? We've seen defenders nowadays. Thiago Silva's 38, Ramos is 36, Kyle Walker's 35. I know he has a lot of injuries, but do you think if he's managed right, we could still squeeze quite a few years out of him?
I know he had a lot of injuries in the past, but like touch wood, he's had one major injury under Ten Hag, and it's like when he was almost missed the World Cup.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, you remember under Ollie, every other week it was like, is Varane going to be fit? Do we know if he's going to be fit? Is he like?
Probably didn't want to play for Ollie, to be honest.
Maybe. So it was just like, it was just a question mark every single week. Now he's just like, oh yeah, Varane and Sancho are going to play. They're going to play, and that's just accepted. I think we could get, what is he, 29 now?
28, 29.
Till April.
Okay.
He's going to be 30 in April.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
correct. Yeah.
you probably get what, 4, maybe 5 years at a push out of him. So I'm quite happy with that. 4 or 5 years out of him. Ten Hag's probably already looking and going, right, in 2 years I need to find and identify his replacement and bring him to the club.
Big boots to fill, innit?
Exactly. So he's got probably a couple of years to find that replacement, bring him into the club, and start introducing the team, because that's what Klopp did so well at Liverpool. He started to recognise players who are on the decline and start getting in people, and that's why Liverpool have crashed so far, because he hasn't done that this season. He's not identified these players who are on the way down, like Milner, Henderson, etc. He's not identified these players and replaced them, and that's what you need. You need to constantly recycle and replace players. But I think we get another 4 or 5 years out of him minimum, if not longer, depending on injury status, how long, the longevity. Maybe he doesn't want to play that long. Maybe he wants to retire. Who knows? So.
Well, you mentioned family time in the quote I mentioned there. I'm just checking at the longest sustained period he's had out. He's missed 9 games. That's the most he's missed.
Yeah.
And that's even for us. That's including Real Madrid as well. And a lot of them are coronavirus, flus. So it's not as bad, but it's just because they're in very small.
Yeah. It's like 2 games and then he's in, and then 2 games and then he's in. So it's.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, we've got a prime Varane and Casemiro for 100 million. Varane 40 mil, Casemiro 60. Looking like a bit of a bargain now, innit? Maybe we actually owe Madrid some money. Who knows?
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Yeah, don't tell him. Right, the last topic on the table I wanted to discuss was Sancho and Anthony Martial's cameo last night, lads. I know we did a review for the game last night, Sam, but I'm eager to get Adam's thoughts as well. Thought they're both really lively when they came on. The rotation in attack, so much more fluid. Spaces started opening up. Bruno moving over to the right. Good crosses, link-up play. Like, it looks really exciting. And Sancho becoming that focal point as well as a number 10, dropping in, linking up with different players. It seemed like all the players benefited from the subs that was made. And obviously that's where the goals came from. Do you think, Adam, if we can keep them fit on the pitch, how good do you think that attack can be if we get them playing regular? Because that's what we saw in pre-season, isn't it? That front four.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to mention. In pre-season, we were expecting to go into the season with this front three. We were playing free-flowing football with the 3 of them on the pitch, and it just looked right. It did. I tipped at one point, I think, on the channel that why not try Sancho as a 10? He kind of lacks a bit in pace, but he is quality in passing and actually beating the man too. So potentially there. And Ten Hag said it last night. Oh, we played him in the 10. It's a position that we're kind of trying out, and he's played Lindelof in the defensive mid position as well. Yeah. So, like, I'm really happy that we actually have the options now, because for so long, and especially in midfield, we've been crying out for options off the bench, and the fact that we were able to bring a whole new front line on, and it be arguably our starting one, what many people would say is our starting one. It's a breath of fresh air, and just watching them play, open the space, particularly was it the Martial goal? I know kind of a wee bit of luck in it,
Hmm.
but the space opened up and that came from the three of them. It did. And
Yeah.
then you see it again, the second goal last night. Bruno does the pass, Rashford gets kind of tucks back in and passes it and squares it to Fred. Um, I think the fact that Martial and Rashford, they kind of popped up with like either an assist or the goal.
Hmm.
It did overshadow Jadon coming back a little bit, but maybe that's something that he needed. He needs the headlines off him, but I
Yeah.
know there was a little bit on him. But the fact that the crowd reacted really, really
Oh,
well,
loving it. Yeah.
Anthony's name, yeah, and then the smiles Ten Hag and him had as well when he was
A little
coming on,
moment, wasn't it? A little
uh,
cute moment.
yeah. And who knows? It could be an iconic moment. The guy's coming back now, and he's obviously been through a lot for what he's done. You don't do a whole social media blackout, I suppose you call it,
Hmm.
and not expect everything to be all right. But he's come into the team now, and he's going to add competition to Anthony in particular. And who knows? Maybe Bruno now, since he's trying him at
Yeah.
10, which could
That's what
be
I'm saying.
another option. Play
Yeah.
Bruno a wee bit deeper, put Jadon in the number 10. You never know. It just gives us a lot more options, and I'm actually happy we have those options. But it's probably our best, front three from what we said last summer, because it looked the best in pre-season. It did, and they
Yeah.
were playing so well.
The connection was evident, wasn't it, last night, especially. So it's the key thing to discuss here, Sam, is the reliability in it with Martial, because the danger is now we start talking about depth in attacking areas and how Martial can be our main goal threat. But if he gets injured again, it's just like you're not developing patterns on the pitch, are you, with the players? And that's one thing Ten Hag always picks up on.
That's why Rashford's done so well this season, because he's been available and consistent every single game. He's been available. He's developed a relationship with not only Terrell Malacia, but Casemiro and Luke Shaw, which he already had. And then you've Bruno knows him better, another year with him, etc. And then Eriksen's coming to the team, and he's got a willing runner in Rashford to ping those passes, whereas he didn't have that before. He had McTominay and Fred behind him, and those passes were never happening. That was never going to come.
Yeah.
So it was just frustrating for him. So he's flourished under this like Ten Hag system, patterns of play, etc. But like you said, Martial, I think if he can't get consistently fit from now until the remainder of the season, I think he might find himself on the outs in the summer, because I think Ten Hag needs a reliable striker that he can play 30 odd games a season, will score goals. Like, there's no doubting Anthony Martial's ability. He's a fantastic goal scorer. He's got great skill. He's fantastic on the ball, can drop deep, link play, all the good stuff. All the stuff that Ten Hag likes. But he's just not fit. He's just not consistently fit. And
Such a shame.
it is a shame. It is. But like you the number one thing in a player is reliability. That's why Maguire played so long under Ollie, and he plays for England, because he's just always available. He's never injured. He's always there. He's always available, and you can always select him because he's never injured. Bruno's the same way. Bruno is never injured, just consistently fit. That's why he gets picked all the time. He's just consistently fit. So yeah, it's a shame that he's so injured all the time, because I do like playing in it. I know, I'm sure Chivy's cursing me out right now because he's a big fan of Anthony Martial.
You're right in what you say, but you can't rely on him. It's proven. At the minute, it's proven. Unless Ten Hag whips the magic sponge out and the magic spray water and decides to fix something, it's going to continue like this, and you can't have that in a season as fortunate as it is. I actually believe he's probably one of the most talented players at the club with the ability that he possesses. But if you can't sustain that, then what's the point? There's no point, unless he's happy to be a sub and you bring him on every now and then to affect the game. That's just how it is. Jadon Sancho, on the other hand, doesn't usually have issues with injuries. Much more of a fitness thing on it was the reason why he got sent out. Looking leaner, sharper, was tracking back quite a bit as well, Adam. Whenever he lost it, I thought, considering the time he had off, he looked relatively good. I know it's 3-0 against Forest. You're already up. It's quite a comfortable game to come back into, but I think Ten Hag purposely waited for this game to deploy him in that and go express themselves. Do you think maybe a certain Brazilian winger might be worried about his spot?
Yeah, if I was Anthony, I know recently performances have kind of somewhat improved, but when you have a player of the quality of Jadon as well, we know what potentially he has and what we've seen at Dortmund as well. and you don't just lose that in a year. You don't lose all that quality. So I'd be worried if I was Anthony. But then again, it gives us that final option too if we want to play him on the left, because he can also play on the left side as well, and maybe put Rashford down the middle. He just brings a lot more depth now to our attacking position, and he seems to come back a lot fitter. He looks a lot fitter anyway, in better shape, and it was highlighted again last night, tracking back as well. Something that I don't think we've ever seen Sancho do since he's come to the club. He never defends. We've never actually seen it. And did he play against City earlier in the year?
Yeah, he scored.
At the Etihad, you went about?
At the Etihad, yeah.
No, the game against City he scored, it was last year. Do you remember when he scored that finesse outside the box? That was last year, wasn't it? At that, because Anthony scored for us in the 6-3. Let me double check that. You might be right, Sam. I don't know.
Chivy's in the chat. I'm always objective on Martial, Sam. I'll keep him and get another striker. We all need attacking options we can get. He's not willing to let him go, is he? Definitely not willing to let him go.
No, everyone's got the favourites, man. You know, I'm sure if Garnacho was having injury problems, you'd be a little bit complacent with him.
Maybe a little bit, but I think Garnacho hasn't been in the team as long as Martial has. Garnacho's broke onto the scene just now. Like, if Garnacho had how many seasons Martial? Like 4, 5 seasons?
Yes.
Yeah, well, under Van Gaal, he'd be signed, didn't he? Is that right? Yeah, so he's been here a while. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and he has 85 goals, I think.
Exactly. So do you know what I mean? So if Garnacho had that amount of time, I'd probably be a bit like, okay, like let's side of things. So I think he's got this season, and because like we know, Ten Hag is ruthless. He will just like, if you're not good enough and you can't rely upon it, he will get rid of you. So I think this is his season. He has to make a stand and get fit. Otherwise, Ten Hag is probably going to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm. And speaking on Ten Hag, sorry, Adam, you were going to jump in then?
I know. I was just going to say something that Ten Hag has done with Raphael Varane. He's put him on like an individual program, and I'm sure he wants to do the same with Martial, but for whatever reason, it hasn't worked out for him. So we've got to wait and see. There's
a couple of quotes actually from Ten Hag, more on Jadon Sancho related to him. On his performance and stuff. He said it was great for Jadon and the fans cheered him, gave him a loud applause. That's great. He sees how the fans like him to give him this love. So we're happy with that. We need to keep that connection with the fans and we need that all season. I think Sancho already showed that he can be a game winner this season. For instance, the game against Liverpool where he sent Milner and Van Dijk to the gulag. Ten Hag didn't say that, I said that, but you get where I'm going with it. The game against Liverpool, it was a great goal. He scored a great goal against Leicester as well. He had some really good games, Spurs, I remember. You feel, Sam, in it, like he wouldn't send someone on an individual programme, put this much time and effort if he didn't think he could get a tune out of him, right?
No, like I said this on the other day, like we should refer to Ten Hag as the Redeemer, because he's just, he brings people back from the dead who you thought were absolutely done. We thought Wan-Bissaka, no chance. He's going. Like he's going. If not January, he's going in the summer. He's definitely. And he's played 6, 7 games now in a row, and he's looked pretty good in every single one of them, if not fantastic in some of them. He's brought Marcus Rashford when we were all saying if PSG came in for him now, we'd all take the 60, 70 million you're offering for him. And I
didn't. Just point out there. I didn't say that.
All right, some of us then. Some of us. Yeah. So. He's brought him back and he's now arguably up for probably player of the year at this point. He's playing that well. So I think it's just... I don't doubt anything Ten Hag does now. If I think... It might have been Hulk Hogan, it might have been somebody else. It might have been Danish, Iqbal. He said if he wants to put Lindelof as striker, I'm not questioning it. I don't care anymore. If Ten Hag thinks it's the right thing to do, fucking do it. Don't care. So if he thought that Sancho needs to go away for 3 months and work on his fitness, get his head right and stuff like that, that's the right thing to do. Let him do it. I don't care if it leaves us short. If it means he comes back as a better player and fits into Ten Hag's system better, I'm all about it. I'm willing to. We all believe in Ten Hag now. Like that's it.
Yeah, that's it. And Adam, we've had to take kind of short-term pain for long-term gain, and fuck it, so be it. I think Ten Hag's earned the right and for us to trust him in these kind of situations, because all the previous situations he's got absolutely spot on.
Yeah, hands down. I don't think anyone's been dealt a tougher start as a Manchester United manager, even on their birthday, including today.
It's not letting off, is it? It's not letting off.
No. There you go. Have that. Have that.
And then he wants to do more. He wanted to kind of look over the whole youth team as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the guy, he doesn't take a break at all, and you gotta applaud it at the end of the day.
Didn't he make a joke
what he's doing right
in a
now?
press conference where he was saying, "Oh, I've set up a little bed in my office at Carrington because I'm like."
Wouldn't surprise you. Would not surprise you at all, would it?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he's just football. That's it for about what 9 out of 12 months of the year. His mind is just tuned. It's probably tuned 12 months of the year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like every day, he just thinking of football. The guy, I know he was my choice about a year ago. Anyway, before that, I was
You were ringing that bell for a while, weren't you?
Yeah.
I was like, this is what you need.
It was touching it as well.
That's Luke Shaw, not Ten
It was when it got announced.
No, Ten Hag was the main one. He was the
right.
first love. Yeah, for sure. I remember his eyes had a gleam about him when he spoke about.
By the way, he's still not shaved his head like he promised he would.
No, I think if we win a Prem and a Champions League, surely that's got to be under consideration, even if it's for a charity or something like that.
Shave your head.
Yeah, yeah.
And that takes a lot because this is my luck. Baby.
Yeah, but maybe if we get you drunk enough, we get enough champagne flowing and whiskies, maybe like, oh fuck it, come on, we won a Premier League and a Champions League.
Ten Hag wins.
Who knows? Hopefully, I'll be in Manchester for that.
Ten Hag wins the treble. Get it done.
Yeah.
What did someone call this? The what's that word in the Wolf of Wall Street they used? To describe something is up in the air, or what was it? It begins with F.
I've seen that film numerous times as well, and I can't.
Yeah.
Begins with what?
It's a word.
F.
A fugazi.
Oh, fugazi.
Yeah. A fugazi. Yeah. Someone said, if he wins the Fugazi treble, we're going to just party in the streets. It doesn't matter. It's a treble.
Yeah. It's the shittest treble ever, innit?
Yeah, it's the worst treble.
Oh god.
Hey, he could top Jose's treble anyway. The three.
I'm just.
Do you know what would be good?
I'm just thinking.
Do you know what would be good?
What?
If he won the League Cup and the FA Cup, that means he equals Liverpool's season last season. That would be fucking phenomenal. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that all day.
You know what I was just thinking then in my head? I was thinking, like sometimes we're doing content and we're busy all the time, and sometimes my girlfriend gets really annoyed with me because I'm constantly like making reels or I'm checking updates on Twitter to see Ten Hag's wife must be fucking just like Eric, ET's ready, mate, and he's just like
in a minute,
no.
He's drawing.
Just like I need to get this started.
Do you reckon he's got a whiteboard in the bedroom? Just tick, and he's just like this. Just
fucking drawings, like posters on the wall everywhere when you walk in his thing. Just tactics, like little opposition boards. Just he
wakes up in the middle of the night, just thinks of something, dreams of something. He has a whiteboard there to write it down.
4-3-3, 4-3-3. Like he lives and breathes football, doesn't it? It's absolutely evident to see, and the records back that up. I've got some stats here to back it up. So no Premier League side has kept more clean sheets this season than Manchester United. We touched on that before. In all competitions, 16 for them. Manchester United have scored 2 or more goals in 9 consecutive games at Old Trafford, our best run since 2006-2007 season. United have won 12 consecutive games at Old Trafford for the first time in the season since Sir Alex Ferguson was manager. And Ten Hag is only the second manager to reach a cup final in his first season since Sir Alex Ferguson. So the style of play back it up and the stats back it up. Incredible with Ten Hag at the minute. Thoughts on them, lads, if you want. Are we coming back? Do we see Premier League titles potentially in the future? What do we think?
If obviously new owners are on the horizon, who that is, we don't know at this point. I know there's rumours and all that sort of stuff flying about. But if we get owners in who are willing to invest in this club, not just on transfers, but on stadium, training ground, etc., scouting network, but if they're willing to back Ten Hag in the transfer market, get the player, his number one targets in the door, they're still going to win it all. He'll win titles, he'll win Champions Leagues, he'll win trophies, and he'll look good doing it. The style of play will be fantastic as well. So it's just a question of who the owners are coming in, because that's what he needs. Like, he's working miracles at the minute. I know he had a lot of money spent this summer, which we definitely needed.
Overspent.
Yeah, overspent this summer, which we heard from Ralph. I know Ralph gets a lot of shit, but he was correct. He said we needed 10 players, and it's open heart surgery, not cosmetic. And how many players did we get in the summer? 7?
Got rid of about fucking 8 as well.
So 7 players in the summer, which is like, and then we've had 2 in January now.
Sorry,
so
5. Sorry, Sam. So I think 5. We've
5.
signed 5 in the summer, but got rid of 8.
So we've got 5 players in, and then we've got 2 players in January. So that's 7 so far. So he's still got 3 that he probably needs to sign to make the squad fully attained. So striker is 1, another centre back possibly, a midfield depth, etc. So if you back him, I think he wins a lot. I think we have a start to have like a proper dynasty. He's got a lot to live up to with Sir Alex and what Sir Alex did for this club.
Oh yeah.
But if you back him every single year, I think he can deliver. And it's just a question of who the owners are at this point.
Yeah, big words from Sam there. Big words. Adam, add on to that if you want.
You know, it's clear, as he'd say.
Clear.
Without a doubt, I haven't been as confident in recent years. It's not a question of if we will in the future. If you back this manager, it's a question of when. At the end of the day, and that's how it's going to be. And he's just brought everything. He's brought life back into the club. He's provided that kind of connection between the team and the actual fans as well that we haven't seen for a while as well, because that was quite divided for a long time. And he's, I'm just confident. I think he can do what the likes of, he can easily do what Jurgen Klopp done, and that's something I think he's going to focus on as well once he has his squad. Look at it domestically and then build out to Europe. He wants European success badly. He does.
Yeah. I reckon that semi-final in the Champions League him, didn't it? Like getting that far.
Yeah.
You think what you can do with like a squad that, no disrespect to Ajax, he had a fantastic squad. But to get to the final and win it, you've got to be top echelon. We're talking Madrid teams of the past.
Also,
you have to have almost a world-class player in every position.
Also, he wasn't able to build teams for any sort of longevity at Ajax, because every year his best players just get taken away. And it's that at United, that's least likely to happen because of the stature of our club, who we are. Players want to come here and like be here for years. They don't see it as a stepping stone, which is what they see Ajax as. Hulk Hogan saying all we wanted was to come top 4, but Erik ten Hag is breaking records. Exactly, mate. Yeah. Absolutely, exactly. And he says, please come smash the like button. Appreciate it, Hulk Hogan. I wish it was the real Hulk Hogan. That'd be funny as fuck. But appreciate it, mate. Appreciate the support.
Yeah. Things looking up for. I don't know if you want to carry on then, Adam. Sorry, I was interrupted just like there.
Oh no. Sam pointed out there he's hasn't had time to actually build a team, but now he's going to have, I think, a good bit of time now, and hopefully whoever comes in, hopefully the sooner the better. We can see him actually, get these sort of players that he wants, and we'll win the fucking lot.
We're just hoping for a perfect marriage in it. We're hoping that the people that the owners who are taking over have the right thoughts in mind, and they have the right to just back the manager. That's all you need to do, because look what he's doing at the minute, like under turmoil. If you actually back him, give him money, he'll win everything.
Well.
He'll win a lot.
Invest in the infrastructure as well around him. Like, I'm sure Chelsea fans are really happy with the way Todd Bowley's just chucking money all over the fucking gaff. Yeah. But if you invest in the training ground, if you invest in the scouting network, the stadium, you don't need to spend 800, 600 million every fucking thing. If you just invest in those sections, Ten Hag will deliver for you. Get a couple of targets every year, invest in the scouting networks, get players on the cheap who are developed for talent, which is what he's good at, get the training facilities up to code, get a fantastic stadium, the fans will fucking love you for it. That's all you need. You don't need to splash 600, 800 million. Like, you don't need to do that.
There's so much potential there as well. So much fucking potential for anyone who's like, if I'm an owner looking at this now, I'm thinking if I just put a couple of billion for the stadium, whatever it is, 1, 2, give them the transfer funds, whatever we can go get, realistic signings, etc. Obviously, we pay the wage bill every week anyway, but just invest in it. Not look for a quick return on my money. You're going to get money back anyway, regardless, because you're going to be successful with Erik ten Hag for however long he decides to stay here for. So, yeah, things are looking up for United in a minute. It feels like an absolute pleasure to watch them week in, week out in this kind of form. And the games are getting bigger and better this month, by the way, lads. Don't forget, Barcelona in 2 legs and a final in the League Cup. So
Leeds twice as well.
Leeds twice.
So.
Yeah, So big games this month, and this is where Ten Hag's going to stand out because we're in winning form at the minute. We've lost one game in God knows how many since the World Cup, since before Fulham, I think, when we got beat off Villa to United. So yeah, things are great at the minute, and yeah, like always with the channel, we'll have consistent content. So make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, if you want to follow us on social media for regular updates and clips from the show, all the handles are in the video description and on the bottom of the graphics. Sorry, just one more thing I want to add, and the lads are more than welcome to say the final thoughts. I've just got a thing for you to do. If you can do it, I want to see what the creativity is like. Right, I'm trying to come up with a new chant for Sabitzer. Right, so you know Nemanja Vidic is Nemanja. Whoa, he comes from Serbia. You can do it with Sabitzer. I can't think of anything to rhyme with Austria. So if you can think of anything at all, it's fucking impossible. So you've got Sabitzer. Whoa, he comes from Austria. And then I can't think of anything else after that. So the challenge is set.
It's got to be something like "We love you," because then it's like Austria.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like something to bounce off. Because
fucking love you.
What, in a Manc accent? We fucking love you.
Love ya. Love you, our kid.
Austria.
Love you, our kid.
Yeah. Well, think of something. You've got time to sit on that. Lads, if you want to say any final thoughts, more than welcome to before we head off.
Appreciate the support. Thank you for all the subscribers who joined the channel recently. It's massive, massive, massive. Follow us on all the socials. And yeah, look out for... I think we're doing a preview tomorrow. Crystal Palace preview?
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, Crystal Palace game on Saturday, watch along, review, all that good stuff. And then Sunday social, we're going to do something a little bit fun. So come check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, just for all the people in the chat asking about Greenwood, just scroll to the beginning of the video. We cover it right at the top. So yeah, just scroll back to that and it explains it all. And yeah, the chat's been lively. There's been like 16, 17 people in the chat regularly. So thank you.
Adam, anything else you want to add on before we go?
Just that it's good to see that there's actually people now regularly watching, seeing the regular faces coming in. They're always appreciated because they're constantly dropping likes as well. For anyone who's new, just subscribe as well because there's a lot of content, especially this month.
Oh my god, yeah.
As you pointed out, a final and 2 cup games against Barcelona. Are we in the Europa League or Champions League?
Europa League.
West Ham Cup game as well.
Yeah, it's coming up soon.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Big game. Big games coming up. Particularly, I think it's a make or break, I suppose, this month is for the season. So, gotta wait and see. But yeah, join us on the journey. Why not? And see what we have in store.
So, to my girlfriend, Kayla, if you're watching, you are not going to see me this month. There'll be zero communication. I'll be gone.
No Valentine's.
Lights out. Right, guys. Yeah, that's it. We'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
Peace.